What's up, everybody? About to start an Instagram live interview with Chris Miles. He's an NBA TV host. If you haven't seen him, or if you don't know him, he's on. He's done Super Bowls. He's done NBA TV. He's done NASCAR. He's done all of the above. So I'm excited to have him on today. This is my first time doing the Instagram live interview, so bear with me if we have any technical difficulties, but I think it should be a good one. I told him that we'll only take 30 minutes of his time, but I think it'll be very fun. I got some really good questions to ask him, really pick his brain, and I even had to get a haircut, get lined up for this guy. So you got to know he's important if I get a haircut for this guy. But Chris Miles, he's the truth. He really carries himself in a manner that I aspire to one day. So we're just gonna wait for him to join, and then we'll get started. But I hope everybody's doing great today. I see my dad online. I see my girlfriend online. How you guys doing? Hey, welcome to the show. I ain't got no name for the show, but I think it'll be fun. Let's see. If I had to pick a name for the show, I think I'm gonna pick Keeping It Real, one of those generic names right now. I ain't got nothing special for y'all right now, but I think it'll be fun. Let's see. He just hopped on. Let's bring him on. Let's see. All right. Chris, how you doing today?
What's going on, man? I don't know. My internet went
How
out
you,
where I was, so I had to move in the house.
oh, okay. No,
Can you
no,
hear
you
me?
good, man. I be having technical difficulties. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, yep.
Can you hear me?
I got you.
Okay. Hey, man, how you doing today?
Good. I'm sorry about that. I was trying to connect and it wasn't. I don't know why that wasn't working.
Oh, no worries. I had to drive to my mama's house just to make sure I had good internet connection. So I know all about the difficulties, but first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for taking time. I know you're a very busy man. So I'm just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day to hop on here and do this 30-minute conversation with me. I already set my timer. I'm already letting you know. 30 minutes and we out. Okay.
Well, I got 25 now because I got another interview at 12:30. So let's get it rolling, man.
Okay. 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 First and foremost, have you smiled today, man?
Of course, you see me right now.
Hey, what made you smile today? I can't just ask you that without asking what made you smile.
I woke up. That's the
Oh, there you
reason.
go.
So
That's
that's a
all you
smile.
need. You got it. You got it. Well, I know that this has been a different year, a year full of new for everybody. I know that you recently became a father, and I know that your first year of fatherhood, this is probably not how you thought it would be, being all quarantined, but you probably get to spend more time with the family. Am I right?
Yep, it's crazy. It's crazy. Lucky her though, get mom and dad at
Right.
home all the time.
Hey, well, that ain't nothing wrong with that. But, obviously you're not in the bubble, the NBA bubble. Uh, but if you were to go to the bubble, what would be the three things that you would take to the bubble? Not necessities like Q-tips or toothpaste. Me, I need my brush to keep my waves tight. But what would you take to the bubble?
Well, what's interesting is I'm doing these like 1 week periods in Atlanta, which is like I call it the secondary bubble.
Oh,
So when I
okay.
go down there, I just make sure, as silly as it may sound, can we count the iPad and the computer together as one? Like all my
I'll
electronic
give you that
devices, I
one.
need them all. I need them all. A couple of good books, so it's not just all about basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, those are the top two things that
Okay.
and then third, kicks.
Oh, okay.
you
What's your
know,
favorite pair?
favorite. I don't have one pair. I mean, as you know, Air Force Ones were uptowns, and people kind of played
Oh,
those
okay.
out. Um, right now it might sound crazy, but I'm a Puma guy because my man Sham God is rocking with Puma, so that's the way I'm going today.
Hey, let me tell you, I've been trying to get my hands on a pair of Coles, J. Coles. Man, I can't do it. The bots been giving me every time they drop. They just go sold out immediately. Just gone, gone.
You know,
But
I found that you got to have the connect. These days, it's all crazy. In fact,
right.
on here, it's my man Kicks and Connoisseurs. That's my man from Harlem. He'll hook you up.
I'm gonna have
Seriously.
to check them out. I appreciate that. I'm gonna have to check them out. But other than that, moving on, in this bubble environment that teams are playing in, it's people that you play against, you see them. Like we saw Jamal Murray post after he dropped me, you just see him at the picnic table as soon as you go outside. So with this new environment, which team do you think that this favors?
You know, I think it favors the young and hungry. If you
Mm,
see, like, Devin Booker was cooking, I
hmm.
mean, I know Dame 30, but he still has that young and hungry vibe about him.
Yeah, yeah,
Luka Doncic, I think all of these guys are like, hey, we in the same. Donovan Mitchell dropping the
yeah.
57. We in the same. Jamal Murray 20 in the fourth quarter. We in the same place. Like, we're not traveling. We don't got to listen to your. Like, I'm trying to dethrone these old heads. That's what it feels like to me. Like,
Yeah,
normally you get to this time of year and it's like, okay, 28 to 32, the veterans, the older guys, they have the experience. But right now, man, all these young players are coming for the crown, and I love it.
right. And I think that you don't throw everything out the door. Clearly, you got guys like LeBron who's a little bit older, but he still has talent, and you can expect that to show up in the bubble. But then there's the role players, and it's a little bit different. Sometimes they feed off the crowd, and with that not being there, it really comes to who can really hoop. So I'm definitely with you on. Uh, Out of the players that you've seen play, not just in the bubble, but in the NBA in general, which player do you see yourself most in?
Am I being
Yeah.
honest with myself? Kyle Lowry, because I'm gonna keep it
Ooh.
real. Like these other guys, people don't understand, man. They on a different level. So if you think, oh, I could hoop like Luka, you're lying to yourself. If you think you could do a James Harden, you lying. Steph, you lying. But when I watch Kyle, I'm like, and I've seen him, and like I see him, I smile because I'm like, man, we the same height. You know, he's really fast, but when I see him, I'm like, man, if I stayed disciplined and worked harder, maybe I could have been Kyle. You know what I mean? Like maybe.
Was you gonna take as many charges as him though?
Actually, I did. That's the thing. I took all the
Mm.
charges. I shot the threes. But
Oh,
now
okay.
I'm gonna keep it real. The guys I played with in high school, man, I sat the bench behind guys that were animals. I mean, it
Yeah.
was super nice. So I mean, when I see Kyle, I'm like, maybe a different situation, different opportunity. I could have been Kyle Lowry, man.
You know,
That's my spirit animal.
being from Harlem, New York, I can only expect that you would say something like that just because of the amount of hoopers that come out of there. So, do you think that New York is the true basketball city? I know some people say Chicago, some people think it's LA. Do you think it's New York?
Okay, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Historically, it's New York, but we would get way too
Hmm.
deep into the woods. But right now, it's not. And every New Yorker hooper will tell you that because now when a kid's talented, the Catholic school league isn't what it used to be, so they go somewhere else and play. And you forgot an area, man, the DC area right now. I can name names in the last decade. You look at top five draft, you you go KD, you go Victor Oladipo, Markel Fultz. I mean, the list is pretty long of guys that keep just coming from here and balling. So I'd put the DC
Yeah.
area in there as well.
Got to move it along. Uh, since you aren't an NBA basketball player and you're a sportscaster, somebody that has done NASCAR, Super Bowls, NBA. You probably even done ping pong, cornhole, all of the above. But
Cornhole connoisseur, buddy.
but what was your moment, if you've had that moment yet, when you said I made it? you took a step back. I think a lot of times we get so caught up in the grind to get where we're trying to go. Have you taken that step back and had a moment where you said, "Man, I made it"?
No, but I knew the moment I had it that I could do it. And I think it was covering the national championship, Alabama LSU, a few years back, being live on the field and the game ended. And
Hmm.
I just felt composed. I felt like I can do it. And like they're handing out the trophy, fireworks are going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I'm just live, chilling, like, yo, this is what I do. And I think that was the
yeah.
moment that I'm like, you could put me in any situation. You know, I don't need a script. I don't need this person to bounce off of. This is what I do. So I would
It's,
say that that moment is when I felt that way. Now, as far as feeling like I made it, nah, man.
well, do you think that you will have that moment?
No, because I think that that's a myth. Look, man, I could call it the Mace situation. You know, Mace is from around the way, and he made it so big that it just seemed like he had the I made it moment. And it was a
Yeah,
moment. Do you know what I mean? Where, like, I look at somebody like, let's say, Hove. Yeah, he made it, but it's always, all right, what's next? Like, he's 50
right.
years old, and you'd be like, oh, there's a new, oh, he's dropping, he basically has a whole album, and he doesn't even have his name on it with Jay Leck. Like, I think that's what it is, man. You got to be about the work and trying to be great at it.
Right. And as you're pursuing your goals, I think that it's important to continue to make more goals so that you don't just fall off. Because as long as you continue to have that grind, no one can ever tell you when you're gonna stop. The sky's the limit, basically. But
Level
what
up or the game get
inspired?
rid of you, man.
Right, that's fact. What inspired you to become a sportscaster?
You know, I never wanted to be in journalism. I thought I was a basketball player. And I never
Yeah,
forget it. I was like, I was in like the second or third grade, and I was like, Mom, I'm gonna make it to the league. You know, like I was like, I'm gonna make it to
yeah,
the league. And she was like, okay, yeah. And I was playing, and I got to high school, and I realized there's no way. You know, I wasn't
yeah.
delusional. I'm like, this is what an NBA player looks like. Shout out to Andre
Right.
Barrett, Kenny
Yeah.
Satterfield, Lamar Odom, Ron Artest. I'm like, that's okay. These guys are they're gonna make it to the NBA. So what is it that I can do? Like it hit me then,
Hmm.
and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I was right. Like I did make it to the league in a different way, you know.
Right, right, right. That's what I've always said. That skill gap, it gets bigger each level. Just, you know, kids can jump higher. They can shoot better. And sometimes people just know the game. They've been around certain influences that are able to take them to the next level. So I definitely know what you're talking about. And that's what I told my mom. I said, look, hey, if I ain't gonna make it to the league this way, I gotta make it this way. So I already know where you're coming from. But with
That's a
with
Memphis Bleak line. That's a Memphis Bleak bar.
you really from New York.
Yeah, he
Hey,
said that.
hey, but with the generation that you came up as far as media is concerned, social media has definitely changed the game. But, certain principles remain the same in order to be successful if you're a journalist, if you're in social media, whatever media platform that you're in, certain principles remain the same. What are those principles do you believe that remain the same if you want to be successful in this field?
You know, I think it's changed so much. But that's a great question in this sense. I would say that there was a blueprint, there was a formula, one that Stan Barrett, Stuart Scott, Kevin Frazier, all of those guys, they followed one blueprint. And I would say now that the true key to this is that there isn't one single formula. That if somebody tells you no, then find somebody else that's going to tell you yes. You know, whereas before you had to keep knocking on the same door, now there's so many avenues, and you can't say just go to a small market, then go to a medium market, then go to a big city, then go national. Now it's like, okay, if they don't want to hire you at this place, why don't you do something digital and pop off? Why don't you go on YouTube? Why don't you do there's so many different ways that someone can break into the business. Um, that it just doesn't make sense to fail anymore. It really doesn't.
Hey, I appreciate that because that seems real. That seems real for somebody who's from Kansas City, where we don't have a team, and as someone who aspires to do what you do, there's not really a blueprint. There's not a lot of blueprints. Let me say that you follow in order to get there. So I definitely agree with you on that. But as we're wrapping this up, I know you got some places to be. Um, what is your go-to drip for NBA TV?
My go-to what?
Drip, like you just swag. What
Oh,
you
I thought you
going?
said
What?
drink. I was like, what do you think I drink before I go in there?
No, 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 no,
Nah,
no,
man,
no.
I don't have, let me tell you what, if I see something I like, I go get it, right? So if you are like, oh, do you do this or this? Nah, man. Um, I go to a suit store and I'm like, all right, I need that. And how do I make that work for me? Can I three-piece that one, man? Because, when you have the mic and the IFB and everything and they want you to move around, you got to make sure you do it right, man. You can't be out
All
there,
right.
going halfway into the game.
I be seeing you on there on NBA TV. I'm like, that boy Chris, he's smooth, man. I don't know. Hey, you keep you holding it down for the young bloods coming in to the game, along with the like being alongside the people like Greg Anthony, Isaiah Thomas. You holding it down as far as swag is concerned. But
You know, I'm going to tell you this. Before I even thought of breaking into broadcast, I actually got a scholarship from the Harlem YMCA. And there was a reporter that I got the scholarship in his honor. And I will never forget this. His wife actually, he passed away. His wife said, you know what my husband never did? He never went on television with a shirt or a suit that wasn't pressed. It came from the cleaners. He wore it on air. And then it went back to the cleaners. And it sounds like the simplest thing, but I think whatever you have, if you maintain it and you treat it well, it looks better. You feel better.
right,
You feel clean,
right,
man.
and yeah, you definitely have taken that in. It's evident whenever you see you on whatever platform that you on. You looking clean. But as we wrap this up, I know Kareem. Oh, is that correct?
Say that again.
Can you hear me?
I can try that again. I didn't hear your question. I'm
Is
sorry.
that correct?
Yeah, hands down. And
I said
I really
Kareem
think it's crazy
Abdul-Jabbar.
that,
That's your GOAT, correct?
yeah, and I think it's crazy that we really don't. Look, I look at anyone that's in that discussion in the top five as you give me your reason, I give you mine, we're good to go. I'm not going to tell you no, and I think you're crazy if you try to talk me down. But when it comes to Kareem, I'm like, I don't understand that. One, the stuff he went through, I mean, they burned a man's house down. He won 6 MVPs in a decade. You know what I mean? He got 6 titles. He won a
Hmm.
fight at 35. He's the all-time leading scorer. Like, they changed the rules in college. You know what I mean? He came up with his own shot that nobody's been able to master since. He beat Wilt
Hey,
Chamberlain in high school in one-on-one. Like, there's some stuff, man, and I'm like, y'all are tripping. Like,
he,
he was the greatest player in the like ninth grade and retired at 40 as the best. Like, what is it? What?
hey,
I
you,
don't
you,
get it.
you preaching to the
I
choir.
I'm confused.
Preaching to the choir. I had to let you go on that rant though, but that wasn't the question. The question was going to be, who's your Mount Rushmore of your favorite players? Let me ask you that.
Okay. Huh, let's think of guys that like just favorite. It's weird because I work with two of them now, Chuck and Shaq. So Chuck, Shaq, my man Zeke. How about this? People that I haven't met. I gotta try that because I'm just gonna name all the people that I've gotten to know and that I think are awesome people too. All right, how about
Yeah.
this? People that I haven't met or been around. John Starks,
Ooh.
Sean Kemp,
Okay.
John Starks, Sean Kemp. Shout out to my man. Nope, I met Tim Hardaway. Man, this is hard, actually. This is really hard. It's Sean Kemp, John Starks, Penny, and Kobe.
Yeah.
Let's go that route.
Okay.
Let's go
Hey.
because anyone else, I've met LeBron. I would put him in there as one of my favorites. I mean, the way he passing is my favorite skill. I met Magic, or else Magic would be in there. So
Okay.
those are the
Okay.
guys I haven't met that I can't be jaded and be like, you know.
Hey, I'm with it, man. I'm with it. And I don't know if you've seen this post on Twitter, but there is a post asking, what is the worst thing that can happen to you on the basketball court? Now, I've seen some crazy answers, but the options, stick with me, the options are getting crossed, getting dunked on, missing a wide open layup, or biting on a pump fake. I know what my
Oh, that's
answer is.
easy.
What's yours? What
What's
is it?
yours?
Mine is getting
I'm a
dunked on.
yes. There's no question because
I
if you
saw so
playing
I
hard
saw
defense,
go ahead.
no, if you playing hard defense and you get crossed, like that happens all the time. A pump fake, everybody goes for a pump fake. I thought you were gonna say spraining your ankle, tearing your ace, but
Nah,
getting
nah, nah,
dunked on,
nah.
I've never been dunked on. I swear, I know how to move, duck,
Right.
jump. I will jump off the court. Not you kidding me,
You got
man?
that
And I've
moment.
seen.
You got that moment where you like, I got to make a decision. Do I stay here or do I move?
Here's the other thing, man. As a Knicks fan growing up, you know how many times they dunked on Patrick Ewing? That's all.
Yeah.
When I see Patrick Ewing, all I think about is him getting dunked on. Think about how great of a career he had, and all I see is Jordan, Pippen, Just that's it.
And my thing is that's the only one out of those options where the basket's already made and there's nothing you can do. So you can get crossed in the bat, they miss and we'll forget about it. But
You're gonna be on a highlight. Yes,
yes.
that's
But
it.
this is my last question. I'm gonna let you go. This is one of my personal favorite questions to ask people. What is your favorite quote? Some of mine are, uh, if you fail to prepare, then you prepare to fail. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Quotes like that have always stuck with me. But what's your favorite quote?
Several Frederick Douglass quotes.
Hmm.
That's if there's a person in history, Frederick Douglass is my idol. Like, I just wish we could hear his voice. I would have loved to just talk to him, So I think without struggle, there's no progress encompasses all
Hmm.
of that. You know what I mean? And
Right, right.
then I think it's easier um, to educate a child than I forgot the second half of the quote. Um, but about, you know, trying to rehabilitate a man is essentially the message there. So I think those two quotes from Frederick Douglass are the things that like I think about
Okay.
consistently. Like
Oh,
when it's a hard day, I'm like, all right, am I struggling today? All right, I guess I'm heading the right way. Guess I'm
yeah.
heading the right way, man. Was today hard? All right. Do my calves hurt today? All right, good. Today was a good day.
Well, Chris, I appreciate you joining me today. It's always a pleasure to see you on NBA TV. And everything else that you are involved in. So I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to join me. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you smile for the rest of your day.
All right, cool, man. And thanks for having me. And if you're not busy in like 2 minutes, you can listen to my man Brian Mitchell on the local radio here in DC. I'm about to hit him up. So
I got you, man. Have a good
thanks,
day.
man. You too.